Hi guys, how you doing? And welcome along to the High Performance Living podcasts. This is episode 9, and today we have some very special guests. The first group call on the podcast, and so I'm really looking forward to it. But first up, we have co-host Si. You there, buddy?
Morning, Real.
Yeah, I'm really well, mate. Yourself?
Not too bad, mate. You?
Yep, not too bad. So what I wanted to find out was about the big fight at the weekend. We've been building up to it on the podcast for the last couple of weeks. So what happened?
Oh, it was a real big disappointment. I got a phone call at dinner time on Saturday saying that one of my fighters had pulled out. They found me a replacement. So we turned up at the venue, got all ready to fight, got warmed up, ready to step in ring, and no fighter, no show.
Ooh,
so nightmare. It was a bit of disappointment, really, after all that training and all that time we've put into it.
So I take it you are pissed off?
Just slightly, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, just slightly.
Did you not just go and just fight a wall or something instead?
No, I just had to leave the venue.
I bet you did.
Pretty sharp, yeah, in a paddy. Well, a bit of a mardy bun, to be fair.
Yeah, I bet you are. I tell you what, I know what happened though, mate. I think he's listened to the podcast and he's heard what you were up to.
Do you think?
I think he's definitely been tuning in and he's heard that you've been up Kilimanjaro 10 times.
He must not have been in the altitude chamber.
No, and after we were taking the mick out of him, you know, his granny kicking him in the stomach or whatever.
yeah. Toughening him up.
So you had a busy week?
Yeah, it's been steady. Just getting back into the flow of things this week. Been dealing with emails and client programs. And then get back into training this week.
So focus on something new or another fight?
Focus on another fight and just keep moving.
Yeah.
Just keep motivated, keep moving.
Well,
just take it as a learning curve, that one.
Well, dear help the next person that steps in there because there's going to be twice the frustration.
Yeah, twice the stress, twice the frustration.
Yeah, twice the build-up. Yeah. Cool. Well, today we've got 2 very special guests on the show for the very first group call for the High Performance Living podcast. And it should be Wilde Performance. You there, guys?
We are, indeed.
Yeah.
Hello. So give us a quick intro. Introduce yourselves separately and tell us a little bit about your background and what you're most passionate about.
I've just been given the go-ahead, so we're not going to do what we normally do. Oh, who's going to go first? I'm Marta. I'm the female part of the Wilde Performance crew. And I've shared my story with quite a few people and in quite a few places. So I'm assuming that majority of our followers will know what my journey was and what led me into being where I am in the industry at the moment. But for those that don't know, my major struggle and major battle was through depression. So it was more of an emotional journey through panic attacks and depression and feeling hopeless and not really having an idea of why this stuff is going on. I thought it was because of my past, because of an emotional journey and so on. That's what you normally associate with depression, right? And the first part of my journey was going through psychotherapy. That did shape me to the person, I am now. But when it came back a few years later, while I thought I was sorted, I didn't really know where to start again, because I thought, I'm sorted. My head is done now. I should be fine and not really going back to revisit that place that I wasn't really happy in. So basically through requalifying, changing my career completely, going out of corporate recruitment into personal training initially, then into nutrition, now into mindset and helping our clients to get their head in the game. I've discovered that majority of my problems were coming not only from my head, but also from my body not functioning properly, from digestion through to liver and so on. So it's been, as much as it is a journey for our clients, and I love being on that journey with them, it's a massive journey still for me, and constantly discovering new things, new stuff that can help me become an even better person. And what I really like mentioning every single time we deliver our talks or we speak to someone on the podcast or interact with people is that my journey from depression into where I am now, it wasn't plain sailing, obviously, but when I got to the point of actually feeling awesome and feeling amazing, I thought I was going bipolar because I thought it's not normal to feel that great. So this is something that I really want people to take away from my journey, that it doesn't matter how bad you feel and how far down the hole you went, you can come out of it. And it's just persistence, trying to find out how your body works, what you can do to make yourself feel better, and sooner or later you get there with the right mentors, with the right mentality and attitude. You'll get there. I did. And I'm not bipolar. I'm just feeling awesome now. So.
Yeah, nice. I like it. So I think that story's, or, you know, your journey, I suppose, is better than saying story, but that journey is quite different and remarkable compared to probably a lot of people who've had that sort of experience and transition into health and fitness. Yeah. Most people, I had to lose a few stone. I had to sort my body out. I wanted to gain muscle and I wanted to lose fat. And that's my own story as well. But obviously there was some internal factors in there for myself in terms of health. But yours is almost kind of strictly health there, and trying to sort out your issues with depression and that sort of stuff. And I think that's a fantastic different angle to have on it. And I think probably then backing up what Cliff's sort of his background, it probably works really well. And you were saying as well that your main focus is with your guys is, you know, getting them into the right mindset and helping them with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's fairly new still. I've been working on my mindset ever since I left home pretty much. It's been 10 years now, really. It's going to be 10 years that I've lived in the UK for in August this year. So I don't really know where the time has gone, but it's been a massive, massive journey for me. And it only occurred to me when someone pointed that out. You know, sometimes you need someone from the outside to actually step in and say, why are you not doing this with your clients? And I'm thinking, really, that makes sense. Because we can work on their performance, not just sports performance, but just generally in life. We can tell them what to do to become healthier, better versions of themselves internally. But if their head is not catching up, if their mindset is still sitting in that old feeling miserable, not being well, taking medication kind of state, they're just never going to get to where they really want to get to. And since we included mindset work in our programs with our clients in November last year, the feedback has just been amazing. I feel a bit overwhelmed with that, because obviously when you start doing something that you've been practicing on yourself first, but you want to give it out to other people, it takes a little while until you kind of click and everything seems like it's running smoothly. It's still a massive journey for me and I'm enjoying it tremendously. I spent the whole day yesterday doing the initial first mindset session with all the guys that started their journey with us in March. And to be honest with you, this morning I thought I wasn't going to be able to talk about anything today because you give out so much energy. But, you know, I feel tired, but I feel amazing because I can see these guys already having breakthroughs through the first 45 minutes, really. It's just fantastic. Yeah.
I did exactly the same thing with the personal trainers and the coaches that I'm working with now on the Exceed certification plan. And I did exactly the same last night. I had the webinar with them guys. And before I actually get into any, you know, of the nutrition nitty-gritty stuff and, you know, the details about, you know, whatever sort of carbohydrates and fats, I actually have spent the first month with them in trying to educate them on being good nutrition coaches. So as opposed to being good at nutrition and having that, you know, head full of knowledge, actually being able to help people is probably the first stage and probably maybe the most important stage that I think that we guys probably do on that day-to-day basis. So aside from having the knowledge, actually be able to deliver that knowledge and coach people in terms of, you know, supporting them, giving them that guidance, and even then, of course, that accountability factor. And it's kind of, like you're saying, a huge component of what we do. And, you know, in terms of making people good coaches or even successful at changing nutrition, it's a huge aspect that people can benefit from. So yeah, definitely love it.
Absolutely. I could just go on and talk for the next 5 hours. Should we just let Cliff speak for a little bit?
Yes. Cliff, you there? You still awake?
Yeah, I'm still awake. Yeah.
He's snoring.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want me to just briefly go over kind of my very brief history?
Oh, yes, that's right. We're going to be here a while. I'll go stick the kettle on. Yeah. All right. No, I'm only joking. Go ahead. For sure.
Let's hear it. So, yeah, I'm Cliff. I'm the other half of Wilde Performance. My journey probably started from when I was born. Well, it did start from when I was born. I was born with an extra vertebrae. So I, by the age of 18 months, I had 3 major surgeries and had a double fusion on my spine, which was, I think, one of the first in Great Ormond Street to be done 30 years ago now, nearly. And then went through life, kind of had loads of pain, obviously, with my back, etc. Was told constantly that couldn't do certain things, can't do this, can't do that, etc. When I was 15, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, which, for people who don't know, is just a horrible digestive illness, very similar to Crohn's in its manifestations and what it causes. Generally on the toilet 20 odd times a day, not very nice. And then when I was 17, I was diagnosed with a brain tumour as well. And so I had that taken out when I was 18. It was a very rare form. They still do research on it now. And then I kind of closed that chapter of my life, them first 18 years. And I kind of, as a side effect of being on the colitis medication, which is generally steroids and azathioprine, I was 3 stone, kind of heavier than I am now as well. So I've been through a bit of a journey with my health in the first 18, 19 years of my life. And then, when I decided finance wasn't for me, I decided to try and help myself first. And then now, obviously, me and Mara have dedicated our lives to kind of giving people answers where they've probably been told they can't.
Wow.
He just got
story.
He's like, ticked off. I mentioned this, I mentioned that. It's crazy, right?
It's pretty safe to say you were pretty fucked.
I was, being the ultimate word. Yeah, now I'm awesome, but before I was pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only way to sum it up. I think it's the only way to sum it up.
Yeah.
Well, insane is the word for it.
And do you know what? I never really wanted to share my journey. It was Cliff that made me share it, because I thought my journey always felt so insignificant comparing to his. But to be honest, when I started openly talking about what I've been through, people actually can resonate, because it seems more real what I'm saying, while Cliff's is just so off the chart. People are like, what? How are you still here?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where to go into next with it. Yeah, where do I start? Where do you start? Yeah, absolutely. Incredible. Safe to say you have been through the wars, my man. Through the wars.
The thing is, it's, you can look at it in a few ways. It depends. I think it's support and stuff like that goes along with it as well. So I had a massively supportive mum and dad the whole way through my journey of, it sounds crazy and people are like, this can't be possible. But like, even when I was 17, and obviously I've been through my colitis and all my spinal stuff and operations or whatever it was, like when I was told I had a brain tumor when I was 17, I didn't even cry. I didn't even acknowledge it. The only thing I could do was sit next to my mum and be like, oh my God, she's got another thing to go through. Do you know what I mean? And it was a bit like, this is not fair on them. It's me, it's affecting, but, with a brain tumour, it's win or lose. You can't really do anything about it. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of, you have to trust the best surgeons or whatever who's going to do the operation. But it's horrible for like the family, extended family, people who don't tangibly have the problem, but it immediately affects their life for the future.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think that current outlook and that support from the family for what you went through would have been huge. Absolutely. Yeah. Here's an interesting fact. We may not have realised, and it's just literally popped into my head. All three guys here, we've got something in common. Can you guess what it is?
Not sure.
Sai, can you guess what it is? Us 3 guys here have something very, very in common. And it's nothing to do with nutrition. This is a random fact.
Go on then, tell us.
We all have Polish girlfriends.
Oh, yeah.
That is really...
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Real.
We're all part of the Polish Barmy Army.
Oh, that's awesome. We special.
It is, right? Isn't that weird?
Taking over the world.
They are, yes. They're obviously very special
Invaded
people.
your country and now taking all the men.
Absolutely, yeah. Why not, eh?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just popped into my head there.
Yeah, well, it's good spot fact.
Yeah, it's good to have that connection.
We need to have like a big get together and all the girls just get in the kitchen, cook up some Polish food. That would be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Pierogi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I had my first Polish Christmas.
How was that?
That was interesting. But obviously, you guys celebrate that on the 24th, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of new to me, that side of things, apart from the food. So kind of, we celebrated Christmas on the 24th, swapped the presents on Christmas Eve, which was just felt weird, after,
it is, right?
Yeah, after years of giving them on Christmas Day. And it was weird. I went with it. I decided let's go for it. And so I had nothing to open on Christmas Day, but opened everything on Christmas Eve, and then had obviously the full Polish works on for the dinner on Christmas Eve, which was really nice. Different to have no meat, isn't it? It was kind of very fish based and different sort of mixes, and really nice. I then made them eat a English, I suppose, Christmas dinner on Christmas Day.
Awesome.
So,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, we did a bit of both. That was really good. Interesting.
We actually, when we took Cliff's mum and dad to meet my mum and dad 2 years ago for Christmas as well, so we obviously did everything on the 24th, and then we wanted to do the English Christmas dinner on the 25th, but everyone was just so stuffed from the Christmas Eve still that we just couldn't even move.
Yeah, needless to say, after 2 days of Christmas dinners, I was, you could roll me home.
Yeah, so much food on Christmas Eve and on a Polish day. It's just eat all day. I love
constantly,
it.
like from morning to night.
Normally, people go and visit
10 meals.
Yeah,
it's my favourite day because I like my food.
Yeah, exactly. On the 25th and 26th, people in Poland don't normally go and visit their families and cook up another dinner and another one. But in my family's quite small, and we never even bother cooking for the next 2 days because there's so much food left over from Christmas Eve.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was really interesting. Definitely. And I'm hopefully going to get to Poland this year for a little trip out.
We just come back.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you go as well, Cliff?
Yeah, well, we were sorting out our wedding, so kind of had to.
best had.
Make an appearance.
Yeah, best had. So you're actually going to get married over there as well, then? Yeah,
actually, a funny thing is that it's really bad of me, but I wanted to originally get married here. It was, I don't know, I just wanted to put my foot down and say, yeah, I'm going to do it my way, and maybe to force my mum and dad to finally come and visit me. But for my dad having really bad asthma and not really being able to travel on the plane, it would have been a massive journey. And then when we took Cliff's mum and dad for Christmas to Poland, where I live in Bydgoszcz, they fell in love with my city, and they kind of made me see my own city in a different light. So I thought, actually, why don't we get married here? Save my dad that horrible journey. And we just made up our mind and found a lovely venue, and we're just going to do it there.
Love it. When's the date?
6th of June.
Love it.
Ooh.
Nice.
Can't wait.
Yeah, great. Well, good luck with that.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with that. That's not very well put, is it? Have a fantastic life together. Yeah.
Like to have a good one. Yeah.
No, you're a very nice couple. Very nice couple. Anyway, let's get back on track.
They digest well, don't they?
Oh. Let's get back on track. So tell us a little bit about a typical day for you guys then. What he's up to. What do you do?
So essentially, the way in which we look at ourselves is we're the end of the line. It's a horrible way to say it, but generally we are. So we're the people that other people come to when they've been looking for answers. You know, it's not unusual for people to come to us and they've been looking 5, 10, 15, 20 years for answers with regards to health problems. And we, on a daily basis, consult with people, well, around the world it is now, with helping them trying to discover what might be causing underlying issues. So whether it's skin issues, whether it's brain fog, whether it's gut issues, whether it's joint issues, we try and connect the dots for these people so that they can actually go, oh, actually, there is some hope there, and that I'm going to find a way of fixing it. And that, you know, we use very specific methods, pre-screening, principles of nutritional therapy, functional medicine, to try and dig as deep as we can to try and help these people find answers.
Okay, so taking that step away from body composition, for example.
Yeah, we originally started with PT, and then obviously we were doing the PT, body composition and stuff like that. For us, the way in which we look at it with our clients, you know, we never take a client on for weight loss. And we always explain to them that if we get the body back to a homeostasis or a balance, then basically a lovely side effect of that is your body's going to find a very natural level which it holds. If you want to then go further, then generally we'll refer people away to do the more in-depth body composition. But as you know, general public, they just, they want to feel a bit better rather than just look better as well, because they have an image. They think, oh, if I get to a certain weight or if I get to a certain dress size, everything will be better. But sometimes people get to that point and they still have skin conditions, they still don't sleep properly, still got anger issues, brain fog, etc. The list is endless. So we try and look at it from a slightly different angle.
Exactly, and that's, I think, why we had a good chat, last year, was it now? Yeah, when we first met up, and we agreed that it was primarily health, wasn't it? Putting that first and getting results for people and improving their health, which then usually leads on to then automatically getting a better body composition as a result.
It's just inevitable, isn't it? And the fact that I love about our seminars that we traveling up and down the country with, that a lot of people will come to the seminars thinking, oh, I want to find out how to lose some weight. But when they leave, they actually have a completely different perspective as to what they should be focusing on. And we get, sometimes people come to us and work with us on the basis of that. Some people will just send us an email and say after the seminar that it was just so eye-opening that they've got a completely different perspective and they've got a completely different action plan as to what they're going to do. And people feel much better within a few days, literally, sometimes taking away simple pieces of advice as to what to do to sleep through the night. And these guys, I want to lose weight, but do you sleep through the night? Does your body recover? No, not really. Change this and that and let us know in a few days. And then someone who's not slept through the night for several years emails you the next week saying, actually, I've slept through the night.
Yeah, exactly. And to us, sometimes that information seems so simple. And sometimes I feel that the information that I put out, even on just like maybe a blog or just a Facebook post or something like that, seems so simple to us, but you don't know how that could actually help someone in so many ways. Like you've said, just that one little tip, that little key piece of information that could, they could go test out, and the results can just be fantastic, phenomenal from just changing those little easy things that I think majority of people are missing. And I think it's a large part of people getting caught up in the details in terms of nutrition these days. And like I always say, it's they've got the cart before the horse.
But this is the whole thing. The problem, whether there is a problem or not with the fitness, wealth, health, way you want to look at industry, is that a lot of people who are putting information out to trainers, or they're putting out to academia, or they're putting information out to these kind of people. And it's like, well, are these people your clients? Are these the people you're trying to help? Are they your passion? Because like you say, Rue, sometimes you feel like you put information out and it feels very basic, but for them people, it can literally be life-changing because you're putting information out that's concise, it's good, it's well-researched, and it genuinely can make a difference to them, and they can keep it all in one place rather than having to look for an abstract on PubMed and then buy a journal of which they're going to understand maybe 1% of the words because they're not trained in it. It's just, that's what we need more of in the industry. Like the bickering is all over generally the 5 or 10% that people don't agree on. I think everyone would agree on everyone needs to eat more real food and sleep a bit better. I think that's pretty simple, but everyone just, I think, seems to make it a little bit more complicated.
This is a big point I agree on. I think there's too much confusion out there generally, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people and try and put things into simple terms, and a lot of basic stuff's missed these days, and that's what we need to keep applying. We need to keep putting it into people's head that we do need to go back to basics, and these little simple things that we do write about and we do put out on blogs and Facebook and social media, they are important.
Yeah, definitely. Hugely. Couldn't agree more.
And also building a bigger picture, actually putting those little pieces of the puzzle together. People just want to, and I don't blame them, everyone who wants to feel better and they see the hope after attending one of our seminars or reading the blogs or anything, they just want to jump on it and do everything all together. It's really important to take a step back and explain to these guys how crucial it is to do one thing, then another, and then at the end of the journey, we're creating a bigger picture, because otherwise they're just going to get either frustrated, fed up, or bored after a few weeks and just go back to where they were.
Yeah, they're stepping stones.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Well, the thing is, like, the way in which ways explain it to our clients is that we say, right, you've got your big goal. So, like, for someone like us, it might be they've been on medication forever and they want to be off that medication. But as a side effect of that, they also might have skin issues, they might sleep poorly, poor energy levels, they've got poor insulin sensitivity or don't handle sugars very well, and they have brain fog, whatever it might be. And we say, right, okay, so your goal is to be medication-free, healthy, blah, blah, blah. That's amazing. But wouldn't it be also nice as a stepping stone of getting to that goal that you get rid of all the other things that you've mentioned? And they're the little small wins that you need to pay attention to, because that's a sign that your body and your health is really evolving, and not that just whether you become medication free or not, because someone could just be given another pill to take off that one, so to speak. Yeah. So, looking at very small steps like stepping stones, like Simon said, is completely relevant.
Yeah, it works exactly the same for people who are focusing on body composition even.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's getting the most from the least is what I always try and tell people.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Exactly. If you chuck everything at someone right at the start and it starts working, it's like, well, what worked?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I think these stepping stones, I think you need to understand why you're taking these stones as well, and where they fit in and why they're changing. Instead of just moving from one to another, you need to understand, obviously, the in-between parts as well.
To be honest, I think you've hit on a massive thing there, really. Like, we always explain this to our clients. You've got to know what the why is in what you're doing. What is the why of why you're doing something? If you don't understand that, or you don't understand why a coach, nutritionist, doctor, whatever it is, the approach they're giving you, why they're giving it to you, and they can't answer why, then you probably need to be looking somewhere else, because we as coaches, we're responsible for people's health. It's really important, and body composition, etc. So if someone comes to us and they go, oh, why are you doing this at this stage? Or why are you doing this stage? If we weren't able to give them an answer, that's a horrendous place to be. You shouldn't be with that coach.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. For sure.
For sure. What I always say, like you were saying about throwing too much stuff at people, is what I always harp on about, is trying to get people to listen to their body and learn their body in the process. And if you're just jumping into all these different protocols or throwing like the whole book at things at one time, you're not really learning your body. You might have solved the problem for now, but you didn't quite work out what it was exactly that worked, or didn't work even. So you're learning more about your body by slowly applying things and at one stage at a time. Instead of adding 10 supplements, you add one supplement and you just kind of assess how that feels. And exactly the same with foods as well. You take one in, take one out, things like that.
Definitely.
Well, this is the problem, with things like food sensitivities. Everyone gets food intolerance, sensitivity and allergy all mixed up. And that's, a real problem in the industry, because no one knows what they're talking about with certain things like that. But with like a food sensitivity for someone, it involves their immune system. It's not something like celiac, which is a food allergy to gluten, but a food sensitivity involves your immune system. And 70% of your immune system is around your large intestine. So the thing is what you need to do is monitor them foods for up to 72 hours after ingestion. And that becomes a problem for people, because like you say, if you put 2, 3, 4 different foods in and you get this reaction, it's like, well, what caused it? Because you've got 2-3 days of overlap of no consistency. Mm-hmm. So that becomes an issue with people as well.
So that leads us on then nicely onto digestive health and gut function, which I know you guys are very passionate about.
Yeah.
So you guys have quite a heavy focus on that. Am I right in saying that? You always kind of look to optimize the gut function and the health of that?
The way in which we look at it, Rue, is that every single degenerative issue in the body starts in the gut. So it doesn't matter whatever happens, what your genes are, your genetics, etc. To use a thing that Tom O'Brien said at the weekend, the easiest way to decide what your genes are going to do is have a look at what's on the end of your fork.
Right, yeah, love it.
I loved it. I thought, oh my God, I'm definitely stealing that. I'm going to tell him, but I'm going to steal it. But it's amazing. And the reason we look at that is because you've got to look at your gut as the pathway into your body, because the food that you eat is technically, why in the digestive system, still outside of your body. It's your filtration system. It's the thing that decides what's good for you, what's bad for you, what your body wants more of, what your body wants less of. And, if that surface is not healthy, so people say you are what you eat, and it's not quite right. It's more like what you are, what you eat, what you digest, absorb, and don't excrete, to be more specific with it. So
I remember saying that at my seminar when you guys were there. I said, you are what you eat. But I forgot, I hadn't quite finished, and I just looked down at you guys, and you were eyeballing me something shocking.
I remember that moment.
And that's when I realised, oh wait, shit, I've got this wrong. I have to go back.
But we just like to go deeper.
Yes, I know what you mean, mate. Yes, I know.
So, yeah, we put a lot of premises on it with every client. We can have a client who has no symptoms in their gut, but they have brain fog, achy joints, muscular pain, can't recover from training. And the first place we'll ever look is at their gut permeability or the potential for something called leaky gut going on. Always.
Yeah. So it's, from a nutritional stance, it's about perhaps looking at, well, here's my take on it, leaky gut, and sort of the three common things I would see would be poor diet, of course, diet, some wrong food choices, and even if they are typically healthy food choices, if they're not right for you, they're still maybe going to cause some issues in there. You're looking at stress, lifestyle sort of factors that can come into place with that sort of thing. And of course, then a lot of people will see issues from medication. Is that sort of typically what you guys see as well?
Absolutely. We even have a slide in our presentation that talks about, they've evolved over the last few months, the presentations, but we used to focus on gut much more in terms of educational point of view, but now we're telling people simple steps to take away and make themselves feel better. And one of the slides talks about just that, what causes all the different, what we call modern diseases. And the thing is that we can talk about different stuff that involves your gut, that involves your heart, your lungs, your brain, it doesn't matter. The causes will be always the same. It's just how it presents in your body might be different. So exactly what you said, food, obviously, then stress, sleeping patterns, and then medication as well. People think they're taking drugs to help themselves, but when they take one drug, it might mask the symptoms of something, but usually it will cause side effects somewhere else. And therefore what you're getting another pill to mask that. And then you've got that massive cascade and you end up with 15 different types of pills that you need to take by the time you're 60.
A big problem comes along with is that because it's so diverse, like symptoms that people can have issues with, like, people not being able to lose body fat is a symptom that they may have some antibodies going on that is affecting them from losing that body fat. And that can be the same for having, something like Hashimoto's, which is autoimmune of your thyroid, or, pancreatitis. Any of these things, they all come down to autoimmunity, and even diabetes type 1 to a point comes down to autoimmunity. So, and your body attacking itself very simply. So the thing is, if we don't seal the gut to start with, we're not looking at the deepest possible root of what can cause these problems.
Yeah, so you then put on a healthy gut protocol, so to speak. So you'd obviously try and remove these issues, any medication, if you can get it removed. Improve the diet, find the food choices that may be causing issues, and managing lifestyle and things like that. Is that kind of, do you have I'm sure you probably work on a individual basis in terms of the protocols that you would set, but do you have kind of like any typical sort of go-to things that you would apply to people, so to speak, who maybe are having some of those issues, like you're saying, with poor moods or issues losing body fat and things like that?
Yeah, we'll always look to seal the gut to start with and look at their ability to digest foods. Because like if someone's in a very high stressed state, then obviously stress comes from so many different forms, whether it's not sleeping enough, whether it's work life, home life, or whether it's from food, etc. The problem comes is that you end up starving your digestive system of necessary blood flow without going too horribly sciencey. You sit on the other side of your nervous system. It's almost like starving your digestive system. So when that happens, you stop key things happening. You stop the ability to break down foods in your stomach and break down proteins, the initial start of it. And then further down, if you don't have enough stomach acid, you stop telling the body to release enzymes that help you break down your food further. So the problem comes with that is that certain foods are quite prone to fermenting in the gut as well when they're not broken down. So that can cause bloating, distension, all sorts. And that really starts eroding at the gut lining. So we would always look at a gut sealing protocol for someone first, and obviously moving foods out, the common allergens to start with, and looking at how that affects them, how they improve. We would always expect a client to improve within 3 weeks. Otherwise, we need to take a step back and look deeper.
Yeah, it's quite a quick fix, really. The gut's quite quick to, if you work with it and listen to it, it's quite quick at sorting itself out. What's then okay? So you've removed the issue, whether that's medication or lifestyles or some of the poor food choices. So that's obviously naturally going to heal the gut. What do you then try and suggest or add into someone's protocols to enhance that and to ensure that that's optimized?
What, food-wise, or what we would do with them supplement-wise?
Both, whatever.
Okay, food-wise, so what we would do after we've had an elimination period with someone, because we do our elimination slightly different to a lot of people. We obviously take the main allergens out, which might be wheat, dairy, gluten, soy to start with, because they're just the overconsumption and the GMOs and all that kind of stuff that we see causing a lot of issue in people. So then after we've done that period, if they're still reacting after 1 week, then what we might actually do is take a view on it and put them on a vegetarian approach for 1 week. Not that we're huge proponents of vegetarianism by any means, but normally what people are reacting to is the proteins in food. So they normally can have sensitivities to these proteins. So by reducing the heavy protein burden on them, if their digestive system's not up for it, and they then stop reacting, then we know it can be a protein element of food that they could be reacting to as well. So then obviously it's then about building foods back into the diet on a kind of every 2-3 day basis to see what their body becomes sensitive to. This is if the person doesn't have kind of money to do testing, etc.
Sure, and you find that there's some people are intolerant to the sort of proteins, amino acids?
Yeah, lots.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, interesting. Yeah.
If you see people with body composition, chicken and poultry are big ones, whey protein.
Yes.
But if you look at bodybuilders in the old age way of looking at it, which is hopefully dying out now, is, you know it, guys, as much as anyone, chicken, brown rice, broccoli, whey protein, repeat. Do you know what I mean? And, they're eating these foods day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And it's, it's not helping given a variation. We can build a sensitivity over time.
Yeah, I think
that's a question. Sorry, Will, that's a question I'm just going to highlight. Do you think, or do you feel that food sensitivities can be generated from people with non-gut dysbiosis and leaky gut, just by overconsumption of the same foods?
The thing is that they roll into a vicious circle together. We would always say is that the overconsumption will cause, whether it causes leaky gut per se, because there's a differentiation to be made. Because there's a really famous guy called Marsh, and he's like the granddaddy of all things gastroenterology. And so you go through different phases of Marsh 1, Marsh 2, Marsh 3, Marsh 4. And in Marsh 1, you don't actually have any degeneration of the gut per se. You just have more lymphocytes, which are white blood cells. So it just means your immune system is more responsive to food you put in your gut. So yeah, you can definitely get a sensitivity without necessarily having like a leaky gut per se to start with.
Cool. So say
this is where I normally come in to do translation for our clients.
Silence. So all right. So say what then? We didn't get the answer to that. What then? Supplementation or food wise would you then try and add into that person's regime to enhance the gut benefits and improvements?
Again, like we said, everything is very, very individual, but for majority of the people, we will do the replacement phase where we would add, depending on what they're lacking, they might be lacking hydrochloric acid in the stomach, so we might help them rebuild that up to the correct levels. We might add different digestive enzymes, and then again, there's different types depending on what the people in front of us are lacking. So this is the most important thing. We usually leave the probiotics till a little bit later, because normally what happens if people just jump on the bandwagon with probiotics and start taking them as the first supplement, quite often it will mask the symptoms initially, and when they come off the probiotic later, everything comes back. So we're fixing the problem first, replacing the stuff that's missing, and then we're going to be adding on the gut flora to replenish all that a little bit later with probiotics. And then depending on the person, there could be different other supplements, included in terms of helping them with sleep. It could be magnesium, anything really. It's just, there's such a variety, but the key first main important ones that we look at in terms of gut, it will be replenishing the enzymes and HCl and bile sometimes as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the key points that when speaking with you guys that I got from my own sort of coaching is don't throw the the supplementation and, like you were saying, the probiotics at people instantly, because like you're saying, you're masking that problem. Whereas perhaps, you're not resolving it. And then when those probiotics stop, possibly they're going to get some issues again, and you haven't really fixed anything, have you? You've just kind of covered it over, and damage can still be getting done, really.
Well, this is the way in which we always explain it to our clients, is that you should be worrying about what you're going to feel like in 5 and 10 years' time, and not in 12 weeks. Because, the stuff we do with people is long term. Our shortest program we have with people is 3 months. And, that is just very much an educational, and it's going to help them a lot in that time. But we hope to lay down processes that in a year, 5 years, 10 years' time, they're still going to be in very good health, because they understand why they're doing certain things. And that's, really important.
Yeah, definitely. An education system behind your coaching is huge. And I do exactly the same. Love it. So if someone wanted to get, what would you say your core beliefs then, just a quick one, in terms of getting, your nutrition sorted? What would you say the top 5 things would be, quickly?
Well, we might as well do what we do during our seminars, because we believe that if people apply these 5 steps, if they take them away, as simple as sometimes they might sound, if they take it away and do it, we guarantee that they're going to feel better. There might be underlying issues that might be dealt with, might have to be dealt with as well, a little bit more complicated. But this is where our help comes in as coaches. But for someone who just wants to feel better and see a difference in their lifestyle and how they feel, mindset, that's just been evolving over the last few months. Mindset is key for us. Get your head in the game and make sure that you're ready to feel awesome, because otherwise you're going to feel like I did, thinking I was going bipolar, right? And that's really, really important. Obviously, eating real food, we just can't, stress that enough. Real food, stuff that runs around, that swims, that grows in trees and so on, doesn't have a label in it. You just can't overdo on eating real food. And then obviously make sure that you sleep well. You know how to address it. If you don't sleep well, if you don't sleep through the night, understand why. What am I missing? What's the 4th one?
De-stress.
De-stress, yeah. I'm a stress head, so that's why I forgot about it. Obviously, my brain is just blocking it. Stress is, like you said, Ruth, that's one of the most important things you talk about to your clients as well. That's just, you can't even say how important that is to de-stress, because if you're stressing too much, just the rest of your body will be blunted. So many functions will be just switched off that your body just physically will not be able to function properly. And then obviously, if you find yourself that you're struggling and still things are not working and you're still not getting to that feeling awesome every day, just get some coaching, get someone to help you find out quicker. It will save you years of looking for things, looking for answers. We always talk about the downward spiral of Google during our seminars. When someone tells you, oh, you might have this problem, then you end up in the evening on the internet searching for stuff on Google, and then 5 minutes later you're dead when you look through the symptoms and things that might be happening to you. And it's just pointless. People just get so worked up and frustrated. You want to avoid that. So, looking at people that already are where you want to be, asking them what they've done, just getting a bit of help, that helping hand to pull you up where you want to be, that's really, really important as well.
Fantastic. Absolutely love it. And I couldn't agree more. And I knew you guys would be the perfect guests to have on to, basically enhance what I usually preach about and talk about on here, and myself and Sai. And I couldn't agree more. So if someone wants to get in contact with yourselves or wants to learn a little bit more, or perhaps even jump on to some of those seminars that you're doing at the minute, where's the best point of contact to get you?
It could be obviously our website, and all our free seminars and that are announced on there regularly. We've got the next 2 coming up in Newark and Scotland at the end of this week, and then we'll be announcing new ones for April later this month. So it's wildeperformance.com. Wilde has got an E at the end. Everyone always gets that wrong. So it's WILDE. And obviously we're on Facebook as well. So facebook.com/Wilde Performance. YouTube as well. Same thing, Wilde Performance. And on Twitter, we @Perform Wilde, because Wilde Performance was already taken by someone else.
Ooh, naughty.
I know.
Right. Well, you guys put out some really good content as well, so I would definitely vouch for giving you a follow and a like or whatever, a little tweet or whatever it is these days people are up to. And just keep the learning going, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys on here, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you for having us. It was great.
Let's sort a Polish night out. Or
Definitely.
Should we?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it'd be a good crack.
Okay. Let's sort that out.
Just need to be careful so it doesn't get out of hand. You know, the Polish stereotype of vodka sprayed in the shot glass and all that stuff. Have you experienced that? On any of you, Simon, Rue, have you guys experienced that Polish way of drinking?
Well, my girlfriend, she's not so bad with drinking, but I've been on a wedding, and
there you go.
Slivovitz here, we're doing its rounds. 90% plum brandy is not good.
Oh, how about you, Rue?
No, I haven't experienced the Polish wedding with the free vodka for everyone. I've been told it's a bottle per person. You need to have minimum.
Yeah.
Well, I went. This is not advocating a lot of drinking by any means because it's not that great for you. But went to Marta's dad's 60th in Poland. Obviously, I speak loads of Polish, so the only way I could communicate was just by copious amounts of vodka shots. And I don't even want to discuss how much was consumed between about 5 guys.
So to kill that awkward silence, it was just drink vodka.
Yeah, literally.
It was great fun.
It just enhances your sign language.
Yeah, well, my brother was all grumpy at the start because he just couldn't communicate. And then I think it was via my uncle, because he speaks a bit of English. He asked Cliff, how the hell do you not get so frustrated and pissed off that you don't understand anything? And Cliff is just, I just roll with it. And then obviously the more my brother drank, the more sign language was involved, and they were just having a decent conversation by the end of it.
Yeah, and then it was hugs and kisses all around for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody's in love.
Definitely.
Love it. Well, let's sort that out. I know I'm up north, size about in the middle, and you guys are further down south, so perhaps we can...
Let's just hook up somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, meet somewhere in the middle. But,
Definitely.
let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe we could do some, I don't know, get some seminar together as a group or something.
Let's do it.
Anyway, I'm just thinking out loud here, and and everyone else is hearing it too. So let's wrap it up and
stay tuned.
They're going to hold us accountable now. Like in a couple of weeks. Where is that seminar you mentioned, guys? What's going on?
Well, let me put it out there. If any listeners want to have a seminar with myself, Si, and the Wilde Performance guys, followed by a Polish evening, let me know. Get in touch, and we'll see if we can sort it.
Definitely. We're in the game. Let us know as well, guys. If you're our followers, just let us know. Get in touch.
Yeah. All right, guys. Let's leave it there.
Awesome.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Toodle pip.
Total pip.